I'm not afraid of failing. I'm afraid of people tearing my life apart from the outside in because they recognize that I'm actively failing, or that they don't like where I'm going, that I can totally succeed at. It's always other people. It's literally always other people. Oh man, I'm not talking emotionally. I'm talking about people wanting to arrest me, people wanting to fire me, people wanting to ostracize me from society if I don't fit the mold of what they think I should be doing in life. So I don't neglect what it is that I should be doing because of the fact that I am afraid of failure. I'm afraid of people doing something irreversibly damaging and collapsing of my life. Like, oh, if I decided to go off and take the dream strides that I want to, would that wind up getting me evicted from my home and I lose everything that I already have just because I wanted to take one step? That's where the worry is. That's where my worry is. I don't want to lose what I have. I have fought my entire life. I've fought for 27 years to take everything along with me through all of it. I'm not meant to lose anything because it's things that I make. These are things that I make. I make these things. And it's like the challenge of everything always trying to take me away from the things that actually help build me up, grounding me, wiping my PS3, taking toys, the threat of losing all of my possessions. All those things are like trauma wound things that I have because of the fact that when I do try to live my authentic life, there is barriers that's not from me. It's the blockades coming from the outside. I'm not afraid. I have no blockages within. I believe in my potential. I believe if I can, if it wasn't for things being the way it is, I would be doing absolutely whatever the fuck I want right now. But that is where they have succeeded in their system, where they go, yeah, this is the thing that you're stuck in. You're stuck in poverty. You're stuck in hopelessness. You're stuck in the thing of if you actually tap in and align and embody the hope that you actually have, that you're gonna lose everything. And it's like they want you to feel that way. They want you to feel like there's absolutely nothing that you can do to tap into the true life you want to live. That's how they siphon your energy, because they're draconian archon energy vampires that want to control people's lives. From the moment that they're born, you're slapped with a birth certificate, you're given a fucking social security number, and every single movement that you do or don't make is monitored under a surveillance system that is just becoming even more of a surveillance system the more that it fucking goes. And so then you're trapped in the vicious cycle of, oh, well, now what do you do? Because you can't live the life that you truly want to live in a system that is directly designed to stop you from living the life that you want to live. And it's just gotten even worse with the decades. With all these years, they have successfully coerced generations worth of people into just going, well, this is just how life is. We're just going to be like labor slaves. Mm-mm. A human being is not meant to sit at an office desk running through lines of code for 10 hours straight, unable to see his family. Okay? It is not meant to be like that. And anyone who wants to try to argue with that, you're part of the motherfucking problem. And you need shot. Seriously, people need to learn that if it wasn't for certain types of draconian surveillance and stuff like that, more motherfuckers would be getting shot in the face. For what they do, they tear families apart, they tear communities apart. You don't even know the names of your neighbors because they don't have time to stop and chit chat with you. They can't be like, oh yeah, I'm out on my patio doodling. Hello neighbor, hi, my name is Slim Shady. And they see people that run our governments and stuff, and our societies and the corporations and shit that made everything the way that it is right now. They're jerking off and coming and laughing and celebrating the fact that we can't just do whatever the fuck we want. They get to assemble parties. They're like, oh, being famous is so hard. I gotta work all the time. No, you don't. You get to fucking party. You get to go to the studio and create whenever you want. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You fucking music artists are fucking privileged as hell. You're so fucking privileged. You don't even know the privilege that you fucking have. And if you did come from the sticks, then maybe you should be a lot more fucking grateful and a lot more self-aware about the fact that, yes, you do have it good. You do have it made. Oh, I'm depressed even though I'm a fucking trillionaire. Shut the fuck up. Maybe it's a you problem, you know, because money does buy happiness. It really does. Like what he was saying is one fucking mishap in somebody's life while they gotta go to work, and their whole life could fucking fall apart in 5 minutes if they just because they don't have enough money to cover it. And they intentionally design a system like that, and I cannot wait for the system as it is to fall apart and only the good beneficial things remain. I am so sick of it. I am so fucking sick and tired of it. I want people to be able to hang out. To hang out. Most of us live in apartment complexes. There should be get-togethers. I should be seeing kids playing out there. I rarely ever see children outside in this apartment complex. I should be seeing kids playing outside. Playing with water guns and dart tag and with the Nerf guns and they're digging to China, you know? But kids have been viewed as a nuisance. Yeah, you're digging a fucking hole. Like, okay, well, if the kid dug a hole in the ground, maybe you should plant a fucking tree there instead of bitching about it like a stupid fucking pussy-ass, fucking low-life, degenerate, dumbass motherfucker that hates kids being kids. Okay? The kids aren't the problem. Oh, they're fucking just all the skater kids hanging out. Dude, they're kids. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. I feel like people have gotten so fucking high and mighty in their fucking britches, fucking pooping and farting in their fucking panties, but then acting like they don't poop. Talking about like, oh, we have this is a problem, you know, we gotta get rid of these spaces that children are allowed to exist in. So all they have is school and home. It's like, it's a slave system. Yes, we want to be in our homes, but we also want to be able to go out in society and have as much time as we want to be able to go wherever the fuck we want. It's not radical extremism or some fucking grandiose delusional thought to go, I genuinely want to be able to go wherever the hell I want, whenever the hell I want, to do whatever the hell I want. And I'm not talking about committing crimes. I'm talking about just being. I want to just be. I want to be able to be without having to worry about risking losing my entire livelihood due to a fucking capitalist patriarchy that says if you're not working, then you're an invaluable piece of shit and you're going to lose your home and you're going to lose everything that belongs to you. All of your possessions mean nothing to them. You're a disposable robot in the corporate machine of society, and I think the corporate machine needs its batteries removed. The corporate machine needs to be completely dismantled and restructured in a way where it is a machine that works for us, not we work for the machine. The machine needs to work for us. You know, that's where I think that AI does come into place as a good thing. AI should be the thing that's working on the things that I don't think humans should be working on 24/7 to where it tears them from their families. You know, I think that we should have people designing and managing AI, and then the AI handles things properly. The AI being proper, not a surveillance spying system that takes and steals people's creations to create generative AI. I'm talking about an AI that knows what it's doing and uses data analytics to actually benefit us, to where a human being does, a line of human beings does not have to work long hours and be forced to be away from their family just because they need to fix some lines of code for the banking system. Like, be so real right now. Be so real. The patriarchal corporate capitalist regime is going to die. It's inevitable. We have been working on it as a society for hundreds of years to try and push back on it. Human soul, human essence, the pursuit of happiness transcends anything that these corporations could ever try to say that they contribute to society with. Like, yes, Amazon's cool, but Amazon should not be a multi-trillion-dollar company where, whoa, that's cool. Should not be a multi-trillion-dollar company that that has everybody in a chokehold and people working long shifts, 4 days, 10 to 12 hours each day, and it's not right. Shifts need to be shorter and people need to be paid more for their work so that it does still balance out to where they have time to be with their families more and actually like frolic in the fruits of their labor. I'm not saying nobody should work. Nobody wants to work anymore. That's not the point. I'm saying that nobody wants to be a slave anymore. People want to do honest work. People want to do things that genuinely contributes to the positive evolution of society, not go clock into a 9 to 5 that doesn't do anything for them and still have to fight to make ends meet. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, when most people on the planet, not just America, but beyond in all countries, most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And when 99% of the world is fighting over 1% of the wealth, that means your system has failed. Your system has failed and it needs to change. It needs to change or we will go extinct in the process. And if you don't want to go extinct, you need to do something about it. And I know that this whole rant seems very it seems very vulgar and everything, but that's just where I'm at. That's where I'm at as a person, where I'm tired of people like babying around with this and beating around the bush as if it's not some vital thing that needs to actually be paid attention to. When this is the most vital thing of our entire life. That was Vincent van Gogh's whole fucking point, actually, is the people who matter the most in society are the ones who are treated the least. They're treated the least. We treated the least. The farmers, the logistics people who actually cause other people to be able to have food. The people that are responsible for why you can buy food at the grocery store, like the produce and everything, the whole logistics chain of our needs being met. And those people get paid what? And then they have to be in what kind of working conditions? They're spraying what on our food? And then it's poisoning them even more directly because they're the person that is made to spray it on our crops to begin with. There needs to be more honesty about what we do as a society. You know, people want to complain, oh, nobody wants to work anymore. They all just want to play Fortnite. Because we should be able to just play Fortnite if that's what we want to do. We shouldn't have our lives so robbed from us to where most people on Sky don't really stop and talk to each other anymore. Because they got to go off and do their dailies, or else the season pass that they could barely afford is going to be a waste of money. And then they don't want anything to be wasted. So it even goes into that kind of structure where and then they have to also worry about the fact where, okay, not only do they need to get their dailies so that they can get their money's worth of the season pass, but also because, they got to go to sleep in 2 hours because they got to wake up in the wee hours of the morning or whatever and stuff like that, whatever their work shift is, and completely just contribute their time to a soul-draining job that is not doing anything for them other than just making sure that they aren't homeless. and have some food on their plate. People want to complain about people on welfare. I'm sorry, but if we redistributed the wealth to where it was a lot more fair, and to where someone like Elon Musk does not have the ability to be a trillionaire, if we rebalance the wealth, redistributing it and everything, like our taxpayer money actually going towards what it should be going towards, we would have more than enough for every single person in America, maybe even the world, to be able to have free healthcare and food stamps automatically. Like at least a certain minimum of like $300 to $500 a month, food stamps on average. I don't understand how people view that as radical or woke or lefty or all that fucking argument is so dumb, and I'm tired of people acting like that's what it means. It doesn't mean anything. I'm not liberal, I'm not conservative, I'm not woke, I'm not a lefty, I'm not right-wing, I'm not any of that. I'm a person with feelings that looks at the world and sees how broken it is and says, hey, we can transcend beyond this. It is totally possible, because we used to. We used to. I'm not saying we need to go and live in the dirt. I'm talking solar punk. We can bring technology into the future with us in a way that actually serves us and benefits us to where we can just spend our lives doing whatever we want. I feel that if more people had a fair amount of wealth, we would see a drastic decrease in crime, because a lot of the reason why you see, oh, this man, oh, he came in there with a gun and he robbed his place, and how long do you think that motherfucker was fearfully premeditating the fact that he would probably have to go and do that because he just literally cannot make ends meet? I'm not gonna fully give them the right of way of doing something terrible and committing a crime, because a crime's a crime, especially if you cause innocent people to get killed because you came in there shooting up the place to rob the place. But I'm saying that none of these things would have ever happened. Crime is increased the more that our societal infrastructure erodes and rots away, and the more that poverty is more common. The impoverished, the what they view as the peasants of society, us, the working class, the people who actually keep the system together. We actually keep the system together. If every single person who actually contributes to the world truly had a pact to refuse to show up to work, all of these corporate CEOs, all these politicians, all of these celebrities, they would all start shitting their pants and crying, why are you not being our slaves still? If we all decided to just create our own new world while their world still exists, their world will begin to fall apart, and they are trying to do that right now. That's why they're putting in flock surveillance systems. That's why they're trying to put in things in place to try to make us afraid again of standing up, because they are noticing that people are becoming less and less afraid of sticking it to the bigwigs and telling them that they need to be arrested and or like executed through the justice system. I think if you are in the Epstein files and you did things to children, you should be sentenced to death, and that is not extreme. You're fucking siphoning and energy harvesting and torturing the most purest, most innocent aspect of existential society, which is children, regardless if it's humans or animals. The babies and children of any species is the most important, because that is where the future lies. The future lies in the hands of the children, not the adults. Yes, we mold them. Yes, we guide them. You know, like you meet a moth in sky, and yes, you guide them through existence, but they are the one that transcends through Eden. They are the one that takes the course of action in their game. They collect their emotes. They collect their cosmetics. They form their own identity. All that you did was just be a guiding force that allowed them to feel confident enough in actually taking action. Nothing that I have said in this entire thing is wrong or crazy or bad or anything. Because I don't believe in anarchy. I don't believe in communism. I don't believe in socialism. We need a new ism. We need a new archy, you know, because a monarchy and oligarchy and all that stuff. We tried everything before, and we obviously see that none of those things work. So we need to invent a new system, a new ideology that has never existed before, taking things from the past, that did work and leaving the stuff that didn't work to fall off in the process. The infinite loop, how time is a linear feedback loop where we are looping in cycles, either becoming better or worse with said cycles. So you have to make the loop make sense. You have to keep the loop together by bringing along what works and tossing out what doesn't. That is not anarchy, because there's still a system. I still want there to be government. I still want there to be a justice system. I still want there to be police. I still want there to be government and societal functions that keep things safe, obviously, but not in the way that we've had it, because it doesn't work, because people are so disenfranchised that they're arguing about who does and doesn't have privilege, when actually every single demographic of society is oppressed by the Epstein rich class. We are all oppressed, just in different ways, depending on our demographical status and how they can exploit and siphon from that. So, you know, somebody like me, I am white, but I am a female woman who is like disabled and autistic. So while, you know, my energy is not siphoned the same way as someone who is a different ethnicity or something than me, I have my own version of being disenfranchised and oppressed in the system. So people end up fighting about the optics of who more oppressed, when actually it's more of what type of oppression are you facing. When people say white people check your privilege, it's more of saying, hey, actually knock that off, because we are all victims in this society in our own way. Some people are ethnically victimized. Some people are, physically victimized because of their disabilities. Some people are emotionally victimized because they might have neurodivergencies that make them a target to the draconian system. There are some people who, because of their birth sex or their gender identity or their sexual orientation, they are oppressed because of that. So it's all of the different underlying forms of victimization that we as a society all face. That's why I don't like the argument of who worse off. It's like, well, when we stick at that, we start arguing and are distracted by the fact of, like, because I'm not saying that certain people don't have it worse. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that shouldn't be the argument anymore. We are way past that. We shouldn't be arguing with our fellow victims in society on which one of us actually has worse trauma, because that's trauma optics. We're arguing over and over again about who has more or less privilege, when actually every single one of us is like one paycheck short of our entire life falling apart, just because that's how the system is designed. And the people who go, well, that's just how life is, just get over it, get used to it, you're part of the problem, because you are enabling the system to keep oppressing different demographics in different ways. Children of all different walks of life being oppressed because they're children, but then they can have comorbid overlapping intersectionalities. There's the intersection of, like, somebody could be like, okay, well, I'm black and queer, so they have two different forms of being victimized. Or someone who's like, oh, I'm Chinese, trans, and disabled. They have multiple forms of victimization. It's not about, like, we should never ever be arguing ever again about, well, I have it worse because, because of racial this and that. It's like, I'm not taking away from your suffering, and I don't want to. I'm just saying that shouldn't be the argument anymore with your average Joe. With your neighbor, neither one of you should be arguing about who has it worse. You should be sympathizing at the fact with each other that you share suffering, and this something needs to be done about it. I see people going, I don't see color. I see color. I see your ethnic differences. I see our, differences altogether. I love the spectrum of life, and I want that to be protected. And I feel that when we argue so much about who has it worse, or who has it better off, we're missing the entire point, and it's going over our heads of, hey, we cannot stand for any of this anymore. None of us should be oppressed at all. And if you have a problem with something that I said, that is a reflection of your own psyche, your own character, your own admittance to that you have been successfully coerced, indoctrinated, and brainwashed into thinking that you have to argue with me or that I'm bigoted because I actually say that oppression is oppression, trauma is trauma. It doesn't matter to me how worse off or how well off somebody is. We are all victim to the same bullies. We are all victim to the same demonic cabal that wants us to fight over our differences and everything and compete with each other on who has it better or worse, because it keeps us looking at each other and pointing daggers at each other's throats instead of actually going for them. And then they get to build their bunkers and AI data centers underneath the table while we're fighting about the Monopoly game on the tabletop. They're already underneath the table playing a completely different game while we're distracted by the Monopoly. You have to stop being distracted by the Monopoly and actually look under the table together as a team. I don't care if you hate that person across the table because of, maybe they're a conservative Republican that did vote for Trump or something, which screw that. But of course, that person needs to own up and go, oh, yeah, okay, my liberal friend across the table. Yeah. Let's look under the table. And you both look under the table to see that you both share the same enemy at the end of the day. And then maybe you can learn from that and get over yourselves and actually use your shared pains, your individual pains, as the tackling fuel to actually contribute to the revolution. And then maybe we wouldn't be arguing about these things anymore, these arbitrary concepts of I'm better off than you because of the color of my skin, when actually, no, we are all suffering and we all need to get together and do something about it. Because it's just going to get worse if we don't do anything about it. And that's the thing that people need to realize. The power, every single thing inside of us is the power. It's all within you. The kingdom of God is within you. The power to persevere through all odds stacked against you and your brethren are inside of you. There's nothing else to it. It's just get to work. And stop thinking that your neighbors are your enemy just because you might not like them. You have the right to dislike each other, but you also need to acknowledge that something way darker in the shadows hates both of you and loves that you're fighting each other. They call all of us the goyams that are worse than a dirty dog, and we will boil in our excrement in hell just like they think Jesus is. So when you realize that we all have the same shared enemies, which is the Kabbalistic elitist class, celebrity worship, and oh my god, that bird just landed right next to me. Celebrity worship of people like Kim Kardashian. Why do we give these people an ounce of our attention anymore? They are fake and they want us to fight with each other. Reality TV groomed entire generations of people into thinking that conversating with each other like that is the way. People have been taught that having drama and gossip and all of that malarkey is just how life is, but it's not. It's meant to be so much more beautiful than this. And we can actually stand the test of time through all of this. And that's why they say that love, in multiple religions, they say that love is the highest frequency. And it is. Love and joy and healing your inner child and working on a better world, that is heaven. Heaven isn't a place that you go to when you die. Heaven is a place that you create, collaborating with others without losing yourself in the process to create a better world for those who exist in it. Heaven is now. It's not some place that you reach after. You don't do good in this life to hope that you get into some utopian paradise. I'm not saying there's no afterlife. I'm just saying it's not It's not heaven or hell. It's just the spirit realm of energy of every entity that has ever existed throughout time. So we have to create heaven on earth. That is the real heaven. The heaven is now. Heaven is now, not some place that you reach once you die. And once more people really realize that and tap into that, we are, as a collective of society through every demographic in every country, we are unstoppable. You just have to accept the fact that you're unstoppable. And the more people accept that they are unstoppable, the elitist class will disappear. And they will try to do whatever they can to stop us. Do not take the bait. Do not hurtle down in fear, because that's what they want you to do. Be brave. Turn your fear into strength. Alchemize your fear. That is what bravery is. It's, I am so afraid of what could happen to me and my loved ones if I stand up for what I believe in. But I am going to do it anyway, because the payoff will be so much more beautiful than if we just bend over and put up our white flag and just let them control us. Agenda 2025 and Agenda 2030, those things are legit, but we don't have to let it happen. I'm not saying stop being afraid. I'm saying take your fear and do something with it. Turn it into your power, your tackling fuel, and we can conquer anything together. Transcending all of this. That is the new earth.